Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. This program is for educational purposes only. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual sharing their testimony. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have the founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach.
Hello, everybody. Let's go ahead and open up that waiting room. Folks, you are tuning into Daily with Doc and Becca. My name is Becca Dukes, and I am honored to be here with you as a resource to help you find options to create a better health journey. I am the Director of Student Services for the Institute of Holistic Health, where we teach people about the 4 areas of health, how they're affected by nutritional deficiencies, and solutions to correct those deficiencies. That's just one of the 8 areas of health that we teach in the Certified Holistic Health Coach course. If you'd like more information about that, please go to coach.dailywithdoc.com or get back with the person that shared this program with you and ask them if they know anything about the Certified Holistic Health Coach course. Now, today we have the founder, the head researcher, the head general of our crusade, the man who started it all, Dr. Joel Wallach. Now, Dr. Wallach is a biomedical research pioneer. He has spent more than 40 years in the field of veterinary medicine, observing and researching the effects of individual nutrients on animal health before becoming a naturopathic physician in 1982. So he's been doing this just, more than 40 years. Today, Dr. Wallach is renowned for his groundbreaking research on the health benefits of selenium and other minerals. He currently dedicates his time to lecturing throughout the world on the therapeutic benefits of vitamins and minerals, as he's here with us today doing the same thing. And he has lobbied the U.S. Food and Drug Administration on behalf of the dietary supplement industry. He is the recipient of the 2011 Klaus Schwartz Award, recognizing his work of pioneers in the field of trace element research. Now, what led up to that? In his education, he obtained a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture from the University of Michigan in 1962, and with a major in animal husbandry, nutrition specific, and a minor in field crops and soils. In 1964, he was awarded the Doctor of Veterinary Medicine, also from the University of Missouri. Thereafter, Dr. Wallach completed a 3-year postdoctoral fellowship at the Center for the Biology of Natural Systems at Washington University at St. Louis, Missouri. And in 1982, he obtained a doctorate in naturopathic medicine from the National College of Naturopathic Medicine in Portland, Oregon. Dr. Wallach has held key positions with lead zoos and universities in the United States and Africa, including director of the Jacksonville Zoological Park in Jacksonville, Florida, research veterinarian for the South Africa National Parks Department, where he was a member of the famous Operation Rhino team, and a director of research at the St. Louis Zoological Park in St. Louis, Missouri. At the request of Africa's National Parks and Wildlife Management Department, Dr. Wallach led an expedition to capture and mark elephants in the Wanki Desert Game Preserve in Rhodesia as part of a migration study. He is one of the founders and a former editor of the Journal of Zoo Animal Medicine, a prolific author. He has published more than 70 scientific papers and 25 books, including the famous textbooks, Diseases of Exotic Animals, still in use today by leading veterinary schools and on the Smithsonian Institute's recommended reading list for zoological garden and aquarium libraries. Because of his groundbreaking research on trace minerals, he was also a researcher at the Emory University Yerkes National Primate Center in Atlanta, Georgia. And in 1977, Dr. Wallach discovered the world's first case of non-human cystic fibrosis in a selenium-deficient Ricci monkey. At the time, cystic fibrosis was believed to be the result of a human genetic disorder. Dr. Wallach's monumental discovery set him on a 20-year path of research on the health benefits of selenium and other minerals. As a result of this work, he became known as the mineral doctor and the father of liquid mineral supplementation. In 1997, Dr. Wallach and his wife, Dr. Milan, who is also a medical doctor, and she's also a microsurgeon, founded American Longevity, a network marketing company known today as Youngevity. Within 5 years, the company had an international network of distributors and preferred customers, plus offices in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, South Africa, and Japan. Today, Youngevity is a leading network marketing leader, providing high-quality, innovative, and unique products to health-conscious consumers. Now, Dr. Wallach dedicated his time to lecturing throughout the world on the therapeutic benefits of vitamins and minerals and lobbied the U.S. Food and Drug Administration on behalf of the dietary supplement industry. His timeless efforts and dedication to the public's First Amendment rights to complete information on the therapeutic benefits of nutrition prompted the FDA to establish qualified health claims for selenium, which it may reduce the risk of certain cancers, and omega-3 essential fatty acids may reduce the risk of coronary artery disease. These are only a few qualified health claims that exist, and because of Dr. Wallach, they were established. Now, Dr. Wallach is an author and co-author of more than 70 articles published in peer-reviewed journals. He is, as I mentioned, the author of 25 different books, including the national treasure, Diseases of Exotic Animals. Folks, we are honored to be able to have with us Dr. Joel Wallach. And Dr. Wallach, I have questions that are coming in about what you saw when you were doing all those autopsies. And that's autopsies, folks, on almost 30,000 and on 452 different species. And 1,700 of them were children who had died all of a sudden. And it turned out to be nutritional deficiencies. So, Dr. Wallach, let's talk about, where did you go?
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for the kind introduction. Can you hear?
It's on the screen with you, honey.
Okay.
Hello,
All
hello.
right, so my screen is not showing right. Okay, so Dr. Wallach, you know, I have doctors, naturopathic doctors, functional medicine practitioners, and they have clients who have digestive issues. Now, they're wanting to know, when you were doing those autopsies, what exactly did you see within the digestive system that may have led you to what would be a solution for issues within the digestive system?
Okay, well, all vertebrates have a digestive system. Okay. And so, whether it was an elephant, a rhino, a buffalo, a human being, a snake, it didn't matter. Rats, you had to look at the digestive system, everything from the mouth, the tongue, the teeth, the throat, the swallowing, the stomach, the small intestine, also the pancreas, the liver, the large intestine. There's enormous, what should I say, exposure to the outside world. And there's an enormous ability of the digestive system to break things down, to be able to absorb them into the bloodstream and be used to support the function of different tissues in the body, as well as defend the different tissues in the body. So the digestive system is equally important as the vascular system. Most doctors want to talk about the heart and high blood pressure and that kind of stuff because they get the right prescriptions and, make money so they can send their kids to college. But really, they don't spend enough time talking to the patient about their digestive system. Now, again, this requires an elimination of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no butter, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the down's got to go. It's absolutely essential to get rid of all the bad stuff, which puts a lot of pressure on all tissues in the body, including the digestive system, from the mouth all the way to the anal opening. And then you need the various nutrients that are required by each tissue to function properly and do its part of the digestive system, which is everything from protecting you from the outside world to digesting a big chunk of meat down to the juices inside the cells inside the chunk of meat. And that goes into the bloodstream and goes to the needed places and so on. And so the same thing for the lungs and the liver and the heart and the brain and so forth. So the digestive system is very complex and very essential to the health, longevity, and survival of all vertebrates. So I spent a lot of time there, and we came up with books, as you said. The metabolic syndrome was one of my newest ones. Metabolic syndrome. 35% of Americans have a digestive problem. Okay, their stomachs are not working right, their intestines are not working right. 35%. And so doctors are blaming all this on genetics. Well, everybody in your family's got the problem. Well, that's because everybody's eating grandma's same recipes. Okay, and so we have to create books that tell them what's bad, got to get rid of the bad stuff, tell them what's good, they got to take the good stuff. Here's a supplement program that's necessary. And of course, one of the things, I don't know if you have one on hand, we have the original Healthy Start Pack. Let's see here we go. The original Healthy Start Pack, the 90 essential nutrients.
Got it, Doc. I've got it.
Okay. Yeah, this was the big boy in the beginning, because before that, everybody says, oh yeah, I take vitamin C. In the wintertime, I take vitamin D, but I take vitamin C every day. Well, what else? Well, what about B vitamins? Oh, I eat lots of green leafy vegetables, and so I'm getting my B vitamins. Well, there's a problem there. Okay, because, and then we came up with a de-stress product, which goes into all the B vitamins, and it's kind of freaky. We're able to get rid of diseases that are caused by B vitamin deficiencies. And we're talking brain stuff, okay, and heart stuff, congestive heart failure, and those kind of things. All right. In this product, okay, it's called De-Stress, Ultimate De-Stress. It has
So I just want to be clear, de-stress is not part of the Start Pack. This is a secret sauce that Dr. Wallach developed to help with specific conditions. And he did ever, I don't know that he knew, but maybe he did, that this also helps with brain health and anxiety and being able to actually work through stress without becoming overwhelmed. So amazing
Exactly.
product.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm getting to. And the reason why we put it into an individual product is because the people weren't getting enough from their food. They're eating the wrong foods. And some of the foods that had the B vitamins in them had gluten also. And so it wasn't worth getting your B vitamins from those because the gluten destroyed the lining of your intestines, so you could not absorb anything. Well, in this product, De-Stress, which I created, vitamin B1 has, let's see here, 4,167% more than you find in the average diet. Vitamin B2 contains 3,846%. Vitamin B6, this De-Stress contains 29,411. B12, very important. B12 for blood production, blood cells, 500 milligrams, 20,833%. I mean, we're talking about huge amounts, enough for an elephant. So why did I do that? Well, that's because when you say to a medical doctor who doesn't get any training in these things, well, have them take some B1. And so they'll give them some B1 with 50 milligrams in it. Well, that's not enough for a rat, let alone a human being. And so it was very obvious we had to come up with a product that was a big hammer. We call it the big hammer. And so it works like a charm. And of course, it goes along with the concept of our Rise and Restore, okay, which we have the newest stuff, which is a multiple, okay, which you take at breakfast, and again, you take at dinner time, Restore dinner time, Rise, you take at breakfast time. And we have some very famous people. I'm not going to give their name out because they haven't given me permission yet. But for 3 years, they've been fighting diseases, taking the 90 essential nutrients, and they're telling me they're avoiding gluten, but they couldn't get rid of their problem. And then we got them on the Rise and Restore, and in 2 weeks' time, their problem they were suffering with for 3 years went away.
Now, just for those of you who are familiar with the longevity products, in the start pack, there is the tangy tangerine. The Rise and Restore is a replacement for only this part of the start pack, which you can find the 3.0 start pack available. Dr. Wallach, in that start pack also is the OsteoFX. Why did you develop the OsteoFX?
Well, the OsteoFX, people were not getting enough minerals, particularly calcium, okay, for the bones. And the biggest place that doctors make their money is for treating osteoporosis and arthritis. Each year in America, just to treat the symptoms, not to prevent it or cure it, but just to treat the symptoms, medical doctors in America make $626.9 billion just to treat the symptoms of arthritis. Osteoporosis each year in America and England combined, they make $6.7 trillion just treating the symptoms, okay? And that really got me very angry, is they're spending all this money just to treat the symptoms for years and years and years and years, and amputating legs and putting in artificial joints and all this kind of stuff. And they weren't really getting down to the basic root cause of the problems. And so that's why I was motivated. I think the good Lord said to me, okay, well, like, either you do this or you're going to have a heart attack. Okay, I'll do it. Okay. And so it became a mission to make mega dose products that even somebody who can't read, if I just take one of these, is that going to help me? Yeah. Because you'd have to take the other people's stuff, you'd have to take 2,500 capsules a day to take what we gave you fit one capsule. Okay.
And one thing that I want to point out is recommended daily allowance is to help you survive, not necessarily thrive. And with the water-soluble vitamins, especially, your body's going to absorb what it needs, and then what it doesn't need, because, well, a deficient body is going to absorb more, but what it doesn't need, then, yes, it gets filtered through the through the kidneys and it comes out. But you're not just creating expensive urine, folks, because like Dr. Wallach said, to get the amount of nutrition from something else, you're going to have to take 10 times the amount of a lot of different supplements, Dr. Wallach. In fact, I'm working on a graphic that shares the costs and what you would have to take for that. And Dr. Wallach, the OsteoFX has more than just calcium in it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it has vitamin D, phosphorus, magnesium, zinc, copper, MSM, trace minerals from red algae, glucosamine, boron, strontium. All of these so important for proper absorption of the calcium and putting it in the right place, right?
That is correct. You can't make a cake by just writing the word cake and throwing it in a pan. Okay. And so same thing, you just can't put wheat, in a cake pan and put in the oven and have a nice cake. It's not going to happen. You need all these other ingredients. And one of the things that motivated me when I was doing those 30,000 autopsies.
I got it for you, Doc.
Got it? Okay. Page 6. There you go. The top picture is a picture of a normal skull. Okay, it's a quarter of an inch thick. And you go down to the bottom picture, it's a picture of a skull with osteoporosis. It's 1.5 inches to 2 inches thick. And that thickened skull crushes the 12 pairs of cranial nerves in the spinal cord as they come out. And the next page, flip the page, and you'll see the bottom of a human brain. And you'll see the 12 pairs of cranial nerves going to the different tissues and organs in the body. And when they get squeezed, you get a disease in that, you get a disease in your kidneys, okay, or your heart, or your lungs, or your brain, and something like that. And it freaks everybody out. Well, my doctor says I'm fine, but I have all these problems. Well, that's because you have osteoporosis skull. They'll go tell their doctor about that, and the doctor will say, "Get out of my office. There's no such thing. Who told you there's osteoporosis skull? There's no such thing as osteoporosis skull." Well, that's not true. It's a very, very common and very, what should I say, diabolical and terrible disease of millions of people in America and trillions of people all over the world. It's a very common disease, okay? And so it's easily reversed. And one of the things I want to remind people here, we also have my first really big, I have some small disc size DVDs. My big one, Dead Doctors Don't Lie, after the book Dead Doctors Don't Lie. This is a 2-hour and 10-minute DVD. This is I think my best lecture I've given in the world. Yeah, there you go. That's the book. And this is a DVD, goes along with it. And this is what it looks like. Okay. And so 2 hours and 10 minutes, I think. And I believe it's probably the most effective lecture I've ever given. So we made a DVD out of it. And then just recently, we made a DVD. It's only 30 minutes long. And this DVD is for AI, artificial, what?
Intelligence.
Intelligence, yeah, artificial intelligence. Okay. And these are available. They're only a half hour long. And so I'm just telling you, there's these tools. We're making these tools and they're flying out the door like crazy because people know they need the information because they ask the doctors and the doctors can't answer the questions. Okay. So we keep coming up with these tools. And so these tools are available. Again, you buy one, you pay the price. If you buy 10, you get a nice big discount. And so you can sell them for the regular price and make a little bit of money. But the main thing is, if you get these into the hands of your people and your family, your group, your neighbors, your church, it's a wonderful thing. And then, of course, you reward them and you put them on a system which is effective, fun, tastes good. Okay. We have the Triple Bliss, which is one of our chocolates with all kinds of mint in it. Okay, I think there's like 30 of these little packets in the box. And then we have Triple Truffle chocolate. It's another chocolate. Okay. And these two things, instead of just candy from the store, these have nutrients in there that make your heart work better, make your brain work better. And then don't forget
Dr. Wallach, you forgot an important part, which is part of what we're talking about today, and that's the digestive system. So that triple treat includes probiotics that help to create a healthy gut flora.
Well, there you go.
So what are some of the things that are common, Dr. Wallach, when people are experiencing digestive issues?
Okay, well, one of the main problems is instructions by doctors that say, look, eat more whole grains. That you might as well put the gun on somebody's head and shoot him in the head. Whole grains, wheat, brown, rye, oats, kill you. Okay? Gluten kills you because it destroys your intestinal lining. Instead of your intestines, small intestines looking like a shag rug, you have all these villi looking like a shag rug, increases your absorptive surface by about 95%. When you eat gluten of any form, those villi go away. We're talking about in months, those villi will go away. And so if you're, eating gluten like on the weekends, you might get away with it for a couple of years, or you might only get away with it for a couple of months. It's hard to say, depending on how much you're eating and how often you're eating it. And it's one of those things where the gluten kills those villi. And so instead of looking like a shag rug, the lining of your intestine looks like a glass tube. You've lost 95% of your absorptive surface, and all the good stuff that you've been putting in your mouth are going out the other end. And just like this very famous guy, which I'm not going to release his name until he gives me permission, he was fighting this disease, going to medical doctors for 3 years, getting worse and worse and worse and worse. We got him on our program, which included the rise and the rise and
Restore.
Restore, rise and restore.
And the OsteoFX.
Yeah, and OsteoFX. In 2 weeks' time, clear as a bell. He calls me up and he said, Doc, I had to get tested twice because I couldn't believe that it went away in just 2 weeks by adding the rise and restore to my program. But did you really work on getting rid of the bad stuff? Oh, listen, when you told me the story about gluten, okay, and the villi and the intestines, I mean, if anybody even mentioned the word wheat, butter, rye, oats, I kicked them out of the house.
Dr. Wallach, I found what I was looking for, and I am going to share this picture here so everybody can kind of get a visual of what you are saying when we're talking about the villi.
Okay.
And
it's very dramatic.
It is very dramatic, absolutely dramatic. So can you see that?
There you go.
Yeah. So as Dr. Wallach was saying, you've got this on the left-hand side as what your villi is supposed to look like. And then you have some moderate damage where things like that gluten are going in, causing inflammation, causing breakdown. See those holes that are there? Causing them to start sticking together because gluten is like a gluey substance. It's a protein that the bodies can't digest properly. And then you have severe. When Dr. Wallach talks about the water hose, can you see there's not a whole lot of surface there. It's just everything that's packed together and what's on top along the outside, the inside of the intestines that gives the absorption of what can get absorbed. Do you have anything you want to add to that, Doc?
No, I've seen that series of pictures before. Yes, very, very well done. The one on the just shows where all the villi have been glued together, so to speak, and you just have the lining of the intestine looks like just a rubber inner tube. Okay, it's just a surface. Okay, and so everything going in the mouth is coming out the other end, and that's not very good because if you can't absorb, just think, the healthy villi, you're getting 95% absorption. Well, when that goes away, and it can just take a couple of months if you're eating gluten for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, snacks and desserts, and you're eating gluten and everything, that's why these kids die when they're 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. Okay. And so we started getting them off of those things. And soon the FDA, 8 times in federal court to get their nutrition correct. Okay. And their liquid bottles correct. And we were able to save all these kids by suing the FDA. I had to sell my farm, and my mom sold her farm, and to get the money to sue the FDA 8 times. And we won each of those 8 times. And they kept they couldn't believe it. So they'd sue me again. So I'd re-sue them, and I beat them again. So then I had to do it again, and they'd sue me again. I'd have to beat them again 8 times. It cost millions of dollars, but it was worth it because we're able to save these kids with the getting the nutrients to them instead of them dying of just killing their intestines, and they're all dying of SID, sudden death syndrome.
So when Dr. Wallach, when the intestines have this inflammation and this coating, that's preventing absorption of nutrients, even if you are taking those nutrients in, right?
That's correct. They're coming out the backside, just like you put them in your mouth. They're coming out the backside because you can't absorb them. You cannot absorb them through a piece of linoleum. Okay.
Right. And it's coated. So, it's got that extra protection to keep things from getting through. So, Dr. Wallach, like bread, it's enriched with different nutrients. But that enriched is just a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's not what the body needs, is it?
No, it's one of those things where they're saying, you can shoot yourself in the head with a copper jacketed bullet, you'll get the copper. That's dumb.
Yeah, that's not a very pleasant thought, is it? Well, we have lots of questions, Dr. Wallach, and one of the questions is coming from one of our naturopaths who has a client who has ulcerative colitis. So ulcerative colitis has to do with what? Tell us about that and what your recommendations are.
Okay, well, it's eating bad foods, fried foods, processed meats, oils, gluten, wheat, brown, rye, oats, not taking any nutrients. Or if you're taking nutrients, all that wheat has killed the intestines, so you cannot absorb them. Okay. And so if you're putting stuff in your mouth and it's coming out the other end because you can't absorb it, you're going to have many troubles, including the digestive stuff. And you go to gastroenterologists, and they'll want to remove portions of your intestines, and they'll take your stomach out and all that kind of stuff. And it's one of those things where they have they were not trained in this. They have no earthly idea what they're looking at. And that's why I had to sue the FDA 8 times in federal court. And even though I would beat them, they say, well, that can't be right. So they'd sue me, counter sue me, and I had to sell something,
right.
sue them back again.
So, Dr. Wallach, what would you recommend? I mean, we've got the good foods, bad foods list. So we want to make sure that we stay away from the bad foods list. No wheat, barley, rye, or oats, or buckwheat, because buckwheat is phytotoxin, which then can have contamination from the aerial part to the seed that we're ingesting, which can cause inflammation within the digestive system. No oils, no fried foods. Why no oils and why no fried foods?
When you heat oils or you just leave it set out for a while, it oxidizes and turns into a poison. Okay. And oils are, in fact, there was a big thing recently about liver cancer in people who are eating foods cooked in, cooking steaks in oils. Okay. This is a big thing just in the last couple of weeks. Well, I've been saying this for 30 years. So finally, they're kind of catching up with us. And
okay,
oils are good for you. People have been eating oils forever. Well, that goes back to prior to 1882. What was 1882? Well, 1882 is when they came up with electricity. Thomas Edison pulled the switch for electricity. We gave up all of our minerals because our mineral sources were coming from the wood ashes and coal ashes, which we're using to heat the house and cook our food. We put those wood ashes and coal ashes into our food. We put the wood ashes and coal ashes into the gardens. But when we went to electricity, our defenses all went away.
Mm. Well, we want to bring those back, Dr. Wallach. So as we're going through into the good foods, bad foods list, you want to limit sugar. You want to have no nitrates, no nitrites. Why no nitrates?
Well, nitrates and nitrites actually are inflammatory substances which can cause cancer, okay? And so this goes along with the oils that oxidize and get nitrates in them. And this is, what causes liver cancer and colon cancer and all this kind of stuff. All of that, there's nothing genetic in it. It's just all bad management of what you're putting in your mouth, what you're putting in your skin, what you're eating, what you're swallowing. And so this is why we came up with our the two different DVDs we have. I have several DVDs, but the two that I like are the Dead Doctors Don't Lie, Someone Should Go to Jail. That's the 2-hour one. And the newest one, okay, is the AI.
Yeah. So, Dr. Wallach,
Yes.
there's one more thing about nitrates that you discovered as a student in the pathology lab when a rancher brought some lambs to you. What was that that's actually so prevalent in humans now that the nitrates affected?
Yeah, well, see, nitrates are used as fertilizer, okay? They make nitrates make plants grow. And when you fertilize the ground and it rains like crazy, a lot of that nitrates you just put on the land gets washed into the creeks and the ponds and everything. Well, 1,000 sheep in that particular farm went and drank the water in that lake next to this farm that had been spraying nitrates on to grow their crops faster and more densely on the land. And 1,000 sheep died in one night. They were perfectly normal. They were all dead the next morning. And that freaked everybody out. And well, what happened here? What happened there? And of course, looking at it under the microscope and everything, I could tell it was nitrate poisoning. And so it happens in human beings too, okay? If you're eating foods that have lots of nitrates in it because you're getting organic food from the farm, okay, and they're putting a lot of nitrates in there, and you're eating vegetables grown with lots of nitrates in it, you're in potential trouble, okay? You could get knocked out, you can get killed.
So, Dr. Wallach, what is it that specifically caused those lambs to pass?
Well, they couldn't breathe anymore. Their blood stopped, their heart stopped. They couldn't breathe. And so
they couldn't maintain body temperature either, could they?
No, that's right. Well, when your liver's gone.
Or their thyroid.
Or thyroid, yeah. But it was more, what should I say, more universal than just the thyroid gland. But certainly, if there had been less nitrates, the thyroid gland would have been impacted, and it would have been a long time. They're giving them all this food, they're not gaining weight. Okay, that would be a thyroid issue. But when they're perfectly normal, when the farmer went to bed and he woke up in the morning, 1,000 are dead, there's just a problem there.
Absolutely. So, Dr. Wallach, what can you describe diverticulitis? So, diverticulitis is coming through from one of our naturopaths, wanting to know what makes the villi, well, one, describe diverticulitis. What makes the villi come back, and do they come back? And what would be the best support for recovery?
Okay, well, you got to get on the 90 essential nutrients. And if it's something simple they want, the healthy start pack, start there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But get the 90 essential nutrients. Wouldn't hurt to take some extra selenium. Go ahead and take some extra of the Rebound or a sports drink. Rebound has over 100, I don't know, 150 nutrients in it. The Rebound comes in these things. You tear off the corner, pour in a bottle of water, and it looks like this.
And you're ready to go.
And you're ready to go. Okay. It has over 100 nutrients in this. I take 2 of these a day. Okay. One from the morning until about noon, then one from noon until evening. And I've been doing this for over 25 years because I actually made the Rebound for Theo Ratliff, the basketball player whose career was over because he had bone-to-bone arthritis. Had to make the products for him. And it made,
Doc?
Yeah.
What about enzymes?
Oh, enzymes.
Ultimate enzymes.
The ultimate enzymes. This is a very good point. This is all part of the Healthy Start Pack. Okay, also. Yeah.
The digestion pack, the Healthy Body Digestion Pack has the enzymes in it. Yes.
You need the enzymes. I take 3 of those, say 10 minutes before each meal. Why? Because you want the enzymes waiting for the food to come. You don't want to be taking the enzymes 10 minutes after you've washed the dishes and finished your meal, because then the enzymes will be chasing the food and the food's coming out the other end faster than the enzymes can get there. Okay. You should be taking your enzymes before the meal, about anywhere from 10 to 15, 20 minutes before the meal, and then you'll get the maximum benefit of the enzymes.
Okay, so if somebody removes all gluten, they are abiding strictly by the good foods, bad foods list, can their villi be restored? The villi?
Absolutely. The villi, the little finger-like villi will grow back. Absolutely.
And does the Digest FX help to break through that gluten coating that has caused them to be compacted and suffocating?
Oh, not really. But what it does do is it helps break down the food into smaller and smaller and smaller pieces. So as soon as there's a little hole there, you can absorb it. Okay. And so the whole idea of the enzymes is to take the big chunk of steak and get it down to just individual cells so you can absorb it.
Okay, so just going by the good foods, bad foods list and taking the nutrition is going to be enough for supporting the recovery of the villi?
If you're also taking the enzymes, yeah.
All right. And how long does that take to have the villi restored? And even if it's just 50% restored, can you restore them 100%?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The digestive system has an enormous capacity to repair itself. But you have to do 2 things. You have to stop the onslaught of the bad stuff, and then you also have to give the digestive system all the good stuff, all the raw materials it needs to rebuild. You cannot build a house without bricks and mortar. You can have all of the pieces of paper, with the drawings of the house, and throw that on the ground, but nothing's going to happen unless you have all the bricks and the wood and the mortar and the tools and the electrical wires and all the stuff you need to make the house. You just can't throw the picture on the ground and the house will grow.
All right, Dr. Wallach. And what is diverticulitis?
Well, diverticulitis is an inflammation of the diverticula. The diverticula are the spaces between the villi.
Okay. So if you've got diverticulitis, that's inflammation or infection between the...
Both. Because usually with inflammation comes infection.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Wallach. And we do have hands. We've only got 15 minutes left. Wow. Time flies when you're having fun. So let's go ahead and go to the first question. Well, it's not the first question, but the first hand up. And AJ, sorry about that. What question do you have for Dr. Wallach today, AJ?
Hey, Dr. Wallach, how are you?
Okay, sir. How's it going with you?
Doing well. I had planned to throw you some curveballs, but there's really not a pitch that you can't hit. So I'm going to start here with Jacob, who's 6'3", and 260 pounds. He was about 300 pounds. He stopped eating sugars and carbs, but he's got leg swelling, and we're trying to figure out what he can do.
Okay, well, now he weighs 200 and something pounds, right?
Yeah, he's around 260.
260. Well, he stay off all the bad foods. He did a good job there. But he needs 2 healthy brain and heart packs. He needs a big hammer, 2 healthy brain and heart packs, a full dose of breakfast, full dose of dinner time. Then he also needs the de-stress, take 3 of those twice a day, the de-stress capsules. Okay, he also needs the sweeties. He needs to take our sweeties. He can take 3 of those twice a day. He needs the glucogel. I'd have him take the glucogel also. Go ahead and take 3 of those 3 times a day. That'll give him all the raw materials he needs to make cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, the walls of arteries, and all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, none of the bad stuff, including carbonated drinks. And so this is why we came up with the Rebound. Okay, it's full of vitamins and minerals, amino acids, fatty acids. Got also all kinds of good stuff in there for rebuilding. And it's one of those things where I take 2 of these a day. There's 30 in a box, so I have to go through 2 boxes. I have to pay for them like everybody else. I don't get anything for free from the company, so I have to pay for everything that I take. But it's worth it. You know, you spend more money on your car with the oil and the grease and the antifreeze and windshield wiper fluid, wax for the car, all that kind of stuff. And you have the dials on the dashboard of your car telling you what's too hot and this is too low and so on. And you don't do the same thing for yourself. And so you need to treat yourself better than you treat your car, and you'll add 25 years to your life.
Doc, so it sounds like you think this guy is missing some B vitamins for his heart, and that's why he's gotten the edema, huh?
He's all the other stuff too.
Understood. Absolutely. You're the man, but people, I understand your language, Doc. So
you don't want to be just repairing his bones and then he dies of a heart attack. That's why we throw in the heart stuff.
Doc, we have a chiropractor, our good friend, Dr. Leroy. He has a personal question, but first, his dog weighs about 64 pounds and has low platelets.
Okay, well, he needs to get on a good dog food that has either the canned dog food or the dried, and it has all the vitamins and minerals added to it. And then we have Arthrodex, and it tells you on the label of the Arthrodex how much to give per 10 pounds of body weight, so that the dosage will be on the label of that Arthrodex. And so that's where I would go with that, along, you know, with the make sure get rid of all the bad stuff.
And then his personal question is he's suffering from cardiomyopathy and AFib, and he's got a small dilation in the heart. Now, his contention is...
Is that him or his dog?
This is for him now.
Okay.
His contention, however, is that he's not a believer in the efficacy of essential fatty acids. And no matter what I do, it's hard for me to convince him that essential fatty acids...
Fatty acid deficiencies result in blood clots. So he's headed that direction. So you might warn him, say, you know, you can expect to have blood clots coming up if you're not going to take your essential fatty acids. But at any rate, he needs the healthy brain and heart pack. He needs the glucogel. He needs the, let's see here, I take the I-26 for the brain and spinal cord. He also needs the more selenium for the heart. And also the, let's see here, the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, 3 of those twice a day for blood flow into the brain, the heart, the arteries, kidneys, get the blood pressure down. Okay.
Doc, I got 20 more questions, but I'm going to let someone else go because your time is limited and valuable, and thank you.
Okay, well, thank you, sir. We can talk later on. Okay, what else we got?
All right, Dr. Wallach. So we have a client whose newborn was born with fractured bones. Mama is 44 years old, 5'5", 140 or 240 pounds. This is her 10th baby. She is breastfeeding, and she took the health evaluation that is used by the Institute of Holistic Health. She scored high in hard tissue and blood sugar and the digestive categories. She's currently on the bone and joint pack, added on some sweeties for blood sugar and some plant-derived minerals. What else would she need? And Doc, most importantly, why would a baby be born with fractured bones?
Okay, well, maybe the mother's not absorbing all those minerals and vitamins she's taken. Okay, and so this is not unusual, actually. And so this baby, they can actually, we have for babies, we've got the what the
We've
liquid.
got the
Huh?
kids toddy.
The
Kids toddy for babies.
Yeah, there you go, kids toddy. And go ahead, just follow the dosage on the label for the body weight.
So with a mama having 10 babies.
Wouldn't hurt to rub some minerals on the belly also, our plant bottle minerals.
So we can take a spray bottle, spritz the body, just let it dry. Don't dry it off with a towel or anything. Let them dry so that they're getting more minerals absorbed into the body.
That's correct.
Now, the mama is providing the nutrition that is needed to have that baby form within her. With each and every baby, Dr. Wallach, is that depleting our body from the nutrients that we need, or the nutrients that are available?
Possibility. It could be a contributor, but she may be eating gluten. She may be eating bread and for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and pancakes on the weekends, and spaghetti here and there. Okay, all this gluten going in there. Doesn't matter what you eat. It matters what you absorb.
Mm-hmm. So if you're eating the things that don't allow absorption of the good stuff.
Here's where hair analysis will be useful. Got the book, Rare Herbs and Cures. Okay, and it'll tell you how to collect the hair, where to ship it. And then when she gets results back, she can contact us and we'll walk her through what the results are. But when a baby's born with fractures, that means that there's a lack of communication between the mom and the baby when it comes to transferring nutrients to the baby.
All right. Thank you so much for that part, Dr. Wallach. And when we're dealing with a 44-year-old woman, 5'5", 240 pounds, she has bone issues herself, blood sugar issues, digestive issues. What would you recommend as a complete protocol for her?
Okay, get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, butter, rhinos, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. That one's got to go. She needs 2 healthy branded heart packs per month, a full dose of breakfast and dinner. She needs the, let's see, I'd have her stress capsules, have her take 2 or 3 of those twice a day. She needs the vitamin D3 capsules, take 2 or 3 of those twice a day. She needs the, let's see here. Did
you say that I-26, Dr. Wallach? Because in addition to being beneficial with the good cholesterol that helps protect the brain and the myelin sheath, it also helps with the digestive system and that microbiome being balanced without those pathogens that could be hiding.
Yeah. So it's always useful. You can't go wrong by giving somebody the I-26.
And then sweeties to help control blood sugar, right?
Correct. Sweeties for the blood sugar. 3 of those twice a day.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. And would those extra plant-derived minerals be beneficial, or is that too much?
Well, this is why you want to get a hair analysis, and then a month later get another hair analysis.
All right. So, folks, you can find information about hair analysis and Dr. Wallach's recommendations by getting the book Rare Earths Forbidden Cures, checking out chapter 10, And that has the instructions how to collect hair, where to send them to get a hair analysis. So, Dr. Wallach, we only have 7 more minutes. We have Patty who makes a comment about microbiome, which is one of the longevity products. It has I-26 in it. It has digestive enzymes in it. It also has some medicinal mushrooms in it, all beneficial for the digestive system. But she says the microbiome was a miracle worker for my husband's case of diverticulitis. So absolutely something to consider, folks, if you are experiencing diverticulitis. Microbiome, in addition to the, at minimum, the Healthy Start Pack. Now, Dr. Wallach, let's go to Teresa, who has, or Theresa, who has her hand up. And
Hi,
please unmute yourself. Let's try that one more time.
hello.
There we go. Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. The I-26. What's the best time of day to take that, and also the selenium? I'm doing the EFAs. I'm doing the osteo, and taking tangerine. And I'm doing the EFAs 15 minutes before each meal, and both kinds, the ultimate and the.
Okay, now what was the question you asked at the beginning of that list?
Well, oh, I'm sorry.
What's your question?
Dr. Wallach,
My question.
what's the best?
Taking the EFAs to 15 minutes before I eat. What's the best time to take the selenium 3 times a day and the I-26?
Well, take it before you eat in both cases.
Okay. Okay.
Because you want them all down in there being, absorbed along with the food. You don't want them to be kind of chasing the absorption system. You want it to be part of what's going on.
Can I ask one more thing? My sister has just been diagnosed with Sheehan syndrome. Is there anything?
What are the symptoms, Teresa?
She 50 years ago, when she had her baby, and right before her baby was born, all the fluids shot back up into her body, and it poisoned her. She almost died. And back then they didn't know about blood transfusions. So she had 4 full blood transfusions that did save her life. However, now she's having problems with, I guess it shrunk her pituitary gland. Also, she's having problems with hypothyroidism. And she was just diagnosed with Sheehan syndrome.
Okay, what's Sheehan syndrome?
I'm not.
What are the symptoms that she's experiencing? Because there's thousands and thousands of different. So, Dr. Wallach, as I have here, Sheehan syndrome is a rare condition that occurs when the pituitary gland is damaged due to severe blood loss during childbirth.
That's what happened.
Sheehan syndrome occurs in the anterior pituitary gland as is damaged due to significant blood loss.
Okay, well, she needs to take 2 healthy brain and heart patch bombs, get rid of all the bad foods. She needs to take the I-26. I have her take, we have the chewables, the capsules, and the powder. She needs 3 doses a day of the I-26 to rebuild the white matter of the brain and the spinal cord. Okay. And she also needs the de-stress capsules. She can take 3 of those twice a day to help rebuild the brain and help the brain function properly. And then it wouldn't hurt to, again, take the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets for circulation and everything from the brain, the eyes, the heart, the kidneys, and let's start there and get a hair analysis. That'll tell us a lot. Get a hair analysis.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Right. Thank you, Teresa, for coming on and caring enough about your sister when there are things that can be beneficial, folks, no matter what the situation. Am I correct in saying, Dr. Wallach, when you get the proper nutrition, because the bodies are
Yeah,
recreating cells all the time?
yeah, the body is desperately groping around for what it needs to repair itself. The good Lord gave us the capacity to repair every tissue in the body, whether it's your pituitary gland, your adrenal glands, your thyroid glands, your muscles, your heart, your lungs, your kidneys, your muscles, your bones, your cartilage. All this is repairable, okay? And if you just take one, you might get a little relief, but the other 14 aren't going to, well, it didn't work for me because it's a little more complicated than taking an aspirin.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dr. Wallach, out on YouTube, I think it's on YouTube, or is it here? Nope, it's here. Michael shared, he says that it's remarkable that Doc sold his farm and spent millions of dollars to save children. And that's absolutely what you did, Dr. Wallach.
Yes.
We just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you for all that you do. Oh, there's one last question. So in the picture that I shared of the villi with the 3 different stages of villi, not damaged, moderate, and severe, the question is, what is the actual color of villi? Is it the same as what the pictures showed?
Well, no, the picture is a stain that you can use to look at cells, okay? And so the normal color of the villi, depending on the time of the day you're taking the picture, because when it's dinner time and lunchtime and breakfast time, there's gonna be more blood in there, so it's gonna be darker blood color. In between that, when the intestines are resting, it might be a cream color, might be a light chocolate color, okay? So the colors can vary quite a bit depending on what you're eating and so forth. But it's definitely going to be darker when you're eating, because the blood is going in there. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Wallach. And we have one more hand up before we close out today, if you have time.
I've got time for a quick one.
All right. Marilyn, do you have a quick question for Dr. Wallach?
Yeah, I had a client with diverticulitis. She's actually got holes. Is the bacteria cause the holes, like too much bad bacteria causing the holes in the intestine?
Okay, now you're talking diverticulitis?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, diverticulitis is like any other breakdown of tissue in the body. It's repairable. Your body can repair that. Okay. But you got to get rid of all the bad stuff, which is pounding it and cutting it and torching it and poisoning it. So you got to get rid of all the bad stuff. Okay, as well as taking all the good.
It isn't just the bad foods. Is it the bacteria too that's causing the holes? Bad bacteria proliferating more than good?
Well, the bad bacteria jumping on the disease tissue. They don't just walk in there and cause the problem, but they do jump on the tissue that's falling apart because it's not getting enough nutrition to maintain itself and do its job. And so when that happens, the bacteria say, "Oh, this is a good place, plenty of food here," and so the bacteria jump in and take advantage of the malnutrition.
Excellent. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, Marilyn, go ahead and stay up as we have our other co-hosts, if they could join us on the screen. And in one closing remark, Dr. Wallach, from Nancy, she says this info is important when conventional medicine tells us sometimes that RXs, prescriptions, are the only way forward. So, we hear that a lot, Dr. Wallach. People have been told that, which basically they lose hope in what their body itself can do when given what it's starving for and taking out the things that are poisoning it.
Yeah, well, being just happy with relief of symptoms is not good. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah, you really have to do both at the same time. You got to deal with the symptoms, but also you have to deal with the cause. If you don't deal with the cause, just dealing with the symptoms is not going to wind up doing a good thing.
No, that is correct. Well, Dr. Wallach, we just want to make sure that people know how to get your books. Dr. Wallach does have a website, drjwallach.com, where you can find all of his publications. We are also working on getting those available with a link through dailywithdoc.com. Now, folks, we shared a lot of information today. If it's something that you yourself benefited from, or you can think of somebody that can benefit from this information, please share this information with them. And for yourself, if somebody shared this with you, get back with them and tell them thank you for sharing this information with you. They're going to be your first point of contact in getting what Dr. Wallach recommended for solutions. And Dr. Wallach is holding up the informational brochure. This informational brochure is something that is sent out with each order. It's also available in the back of some of his publications, like the 90 for Life Crusade to Save Humanity and the World, and in the back of the Wallach Revolution, and also Metabolic Syndrome. So, Dr. Wallach, thank you so much for all that you do so that we can do what we do in giving us the opportunity and a career where we can be proud that we are actually feeding into society in giving information that is actually returning great results. And those emails and calls of saying thank you, Dr. Wallach, it just makes it all worth it and keeps us going. So thank you.
Well, thank you and the team so much. All of you were family. God bless you. All the great things you do. No one person can do everything. And so this team is a family. We cannot thank you enough for all that you do. God bless.
That's right. Thank you. God bless you all, everybody. And who we have with us today, we have Marilyn, who, if you're not in this Zoom live, you're not seeing the great work that Marilyn does, as she is an amazing typist doing transcription of what is being shared, so that as Dr. Wallach is speaking, you can take screenshots of that information and save it for future use or refer back to it, especially if you're not able to write as fast as he types. She can type that fast. So thank you so much, Marilyn. We also have Rod, who is keeping an eye on things for us and out on the different platforms, watching for comments and questions. Thank you so much, Rod. We have Sherry, who is part of our... Okay. Sherry, who's part of our technical crew, who is part of getting everything set up so that we can do our streaming. And thank you so much, Sherry, for that. We have Albert, who is letting people into the Zoom room so that they can come in and actually be here live with us in the Zoom and see the whole effect and talk to Dr. Wallach if they have questions as well. And we have Kaylee. Kaylee is helping us with figuring out what it is that we need to help more people hear the message. So thank you so much, Kaylee, for being part of the team. We have Ruth Ellen, who is my executive production manager, who is the one that is catching the Zoom, putting it with the graphics, and then making it available so the stream can actually happen. So thank you so much, Ruth Ellen. And we have AJ, who has helped us get on those different platforms where people are watching and listening and getting information. Thank you so much, AJ. Folks, this does take a team. It's a team effort to get information out all around the world. Get back with the person that shared this program with you and ask how you can be part of the team that is providing solutions to so many different health issues all around the world, that people are just being pushed off from one specialist to another specialist, and then, like myself, to pain management. I no longer need pain management, folks. I no longer need the pharmaceuticals that I was on or they wanted me to go on. And it's because of this man who has done all of the research to make what our bodies need available. Thank Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. Once again, I know you've got another program to get off to, so I'm going to release you. Have a fantastic day. Tomorrow, Dr. Wallach, here, same time, same place, Monday through Friday. We have Daily with Doc from 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific time, 1 to 2 Mountain, 2 to 3 Central, 3 to 4 Eastern by going to zoom.dailywithdoc.com. Now, for all of those that use YouTube, we all are not YouTube. I know we've got YouTube's been going forever. TikTok. We now have a TikTok shop that has the 3.0 in the shop. So make sure that you go and check us out on TikTok, like us, follow us, send us some love, dear friends. And if you're not already working with somebody and you want to get on that 3.0 that Dr. Wallach mentioned has helped somebody that even though they'd been on some nutrition, the 90 for life, that 3.0 is what really gave them the difference. So find us on TikTok, Daily with Doc and Becca. You'll find us, and we are reaching around with many more areas for people to get the information. Have a fantastic day, everybody. Bye for now.
Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. This program is for educational purposes only. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual sharing their testimony. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have the founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. This program is for educational purposes only. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual sharing their testimony. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have the founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach.